Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another one. And I ran across this guy a couple of months ago, and I have been meaning to do more videos about this guy. He calls himself the Defiant lawyer. I would love to be able to sit down and talk about what's going on in the country and how he views things. He has a very, very twisted view. But anyway, this guy, he does not like the MAGA movement, and he believes that the most destructive force in America today is white supremacy. I don't know where the hell, what rock he's living under, white supremacists. So he believes that white people are superior to him, I guess, because I don't believe that at all. No one, black or white, brown, blue, or green, is superior to Big Al because I'm UncleCoon. I can think for myself. But I want you to listen to this rhetoric and this bullshit. And then he's going to play, I haven't seen this one, but I guess I'm reacting to it in real time. But he's going to talk about, I think he's going to put up some people that black men that's saying they support Donald Trump. So this one might get a little lengthy. I want to do a good job on this one, but check this out.
2024 election is over. Donald Trump has been declared the victor. He has been declared the president-elect of the country. And we're still very much getting used to the ideal that that man will once again sit in the Oval Office. And we're asking ourselves, how did this happen? What happened? And I can't take my mind off the fact that around 20% of African-American men under 50 voted for Trump, MAGA, and Project 2025.
See how they lie? MAGA people didn't vote for Project 2025. That's the first thing right there. That's all they do is lie. Because MAGA people know better than that. Project 2025 is not MAGA. And we've been telling you that for 7 to 8 months, clown.
On the other hand, that means most African-American men rejected MAGA, Project 2025, Trump, and voted for Kamala Harris.
I think half of the black men, especially under 50 years old, voted for Trump. So I think he got his numbers wrong anyway. He's saying it's 20%, but I think it's more than that because a lot of people woke up.
So that does my heart some good. But approximately 20% of African-American male voters did vote for Trump. And that was more than 2020, a whole lot more than 2016, and so on. What is it about a white supremacist, Donald Trump, a white supremacist organization or movement, MAGA, and a white supremacist mandate, Project 2025 / Agenda 47 / the GOP platform, that attract black men who are the target and carries the burden of white supremacy? I mean, white supremacy has undermined and attacked and targeted black men more than any group in this country.
Really? Where did you get that from? So white supremacists are attacking black people. White supremacists is the main problem for black people. Is that what you're saying? And you are a lawyer, an attorney? I wouldn't hire you to represent two butterflies.
Maybe with the exception of indigenous people, Native Americans. So how did they get that many African-American men to support this movement? That's a question we gotta ask because we don't want this to repeat. So,
You too late, partner. You are too late, because I think the Democrat Party, as we've known them, unless they do some drastic changing, it's over for them. There's people not going back. MAGA people have seen the light. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is going to be very, very interesting. And I think these people on here are going to bust his ass wide open. Watch and see. Because when you talk to MAGA people, when you put the microphone in front of MAGA people, we can explain why we do what we do. We can explain why we think the way we think. And we can explain why Donald Trump is the chosen one, that he is the leader. We know exactly why we voted for him. But anyway, let's keep it moving.
So I'm going to play some video of this guy named Benny Johnson. And he was in Fulton County, Georgia, which is basically Atlanta. And he's just out there handing out MAGA hats, and a lot of those guys were eating it up. We need to look at that video, some parts of it, and we need to hear some of the things that were said. I'm going to react to it so that we can see one of the biggest reasons why young black men supported Donald Trump. Okay? Stay with me. All right, so let's look at this video. And many parts of it is quite frankly embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But we need to look at it because we need to know what they did to these young men to cause them to support an organization and a man who is all against their interests. All right, let's look at this video. And we're just going to go through some of it. I'm going to comment, look at some more. I'm going to comment, and so on. Here we go.
Donald Trump was president, was life better?
Life was 100 times better, and I felt like the tip of the spear was sharp. Come on now.
America. Listen, man, Donald Trump is the best thing that ever happened to America. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's go.
Of course. Who you voting for?
Trump.
Yeah, why's that?
Because we need to be Republican again.
I don't know what they got to say about Trump, but I know what I got to say about him.
I'll with him. Excuse my language.
Hold on, we gonna see that.
Hit the flash.
Throw that joint on, yeah.
Oh, these my people right here.
Watch out, 2024.
Now I got to put that on for real.
Do you think Kamala would ever come to this neighborhood?
Who is that?
Yeah.
You want to make America great again?
Yeah.
Make America great again, baby.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let me see you. Woo! Yeah, that's the look right there, my brother. There you go.
Essentially, that America was in better hands under Donald Trump, so vote Trump.
Welcome to Fulton County, Georgia, otherwise known as Atlanta. It's one of the most dangerous counties in all of America. It also votes overwhelmingly for Democrats. This place has seen better days, that's for sure. How popular is the MAGA hat around here? You wouldn't expect it, but Donald Trump did go to a Chick-fil-A in this county. He's also being prosecuted in this county, and this is the county that gave us the...
Now, one of the first things I want you to notice is that when these guys, these GOP operatives, go and try to find African-American men to talk to, they always go to the hood. Why is that? Because in the hood, you're going to find a bunch of guys who don't have a lot of knowledge and understanding about African-American history.
Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Don't nobody care about no history, man. We want to know how to get these eggs down and how to buy gas. That's why y'all in trouble. Y'all thinking about history. You want to back people up to slavery and all that, man. I bet you that's finna come out of his mouth next. Don't nobody care nothing about all that stuff, man. People live in their own time. And today, it's our time. What are we going to do? We're going to sit up and listen to you, Democrats, talking about what was so bad when we was coming up with a guy told me, he said, America was built on the backs of slaves. Yeah? Really? I didn't see no slaves building no skyscrapers and bridges and hospitals and schools. Did you see slaves doing that? The hell you talking about, man? But there's people like this guy right here that have you walking backwards. How far can you get doing that?
about the civil rights movement, about the civil rights laws, about the Reconstruction
Man, who gives a shit about all that?
amendments, about so many things, right? Now, I'm not suggesting that these men are not smart.
Yeah, you just did. Yeah, you did. You back it up now, punk. Yes, you did. You just said that Benny Johnson and MAGA operatives go to the hood where they're uneducated people. I think that's the best place to go because those people will tell you the truth. They'll tell you what the hell they feel. They don't give a damn about all this mess you're talking about.
I'm saying they're uninformed, okay? They're uninformed, which makes them very vulnerable to
I'm saying you full of shit. You're an idiot.
disinformation. And they're also disillusioned, right? Because
Benny didn't ask them anything. I haven't seen him ask any questions. Benny asked them who were they supporting, and they started talking. I didn't see him lead in. He didn't ask them no questions. He asked them who they were supporting. Did they want a MAGA hat? And I'm pretty sure that the same day, Benny had just as many people that said, no, I don't want that. I guarantee you. Why are people trying to ostracize people with good sense, people that can think? President Trump says he is not for killing our babies. He's not for drag queens in the schools. He wants the parents to have school choice. He knows that the schools in the hoods are terrible. He wants the parents to be able to send those kids to whatever school they want them to go to, and the money go with the kids. What about the MAGA movement that you don't like, other than President Trump and the color of his skin, asshole?
many of them are having a tough time at life. And they often look to the Democratic Party as the reason for them having a tough time at life.
Thank you.
So they have this, angst, this this issue with the Democratic Party. And here come guys like Benny Johnson, who will confirm for them. And of course, these pro-black imposters will confirm for them why, yes, you have a legitimate gripe against the Democratic Party.
Hell yeah, we got a legitimate right. Y'all don't do nothing right. All y'all do is destroy. Kill, steal, and destroy. That's what y'all do. That's the Democratic Party. Kill, steal, and destroy.
Chosen to drive these vehicles. Many of them, ironically, are likely Democrats.
That's what the Democrats do. And we sick of it. And we are leaving MAGA, baby.
So those are the neighborhoods that these people go to and put a mic in front of these folks' heads and entice them with the MAGA hat and so.
You take your ass down there and see what they say. They'll tell you the same thing, old ass.
On, because these folks are very vulnerable to the disinformation that is sort of pumped into the African-American male community.
That don't even make any sense, man. Y'all tripping. That doesn't even make sense. Who pumped the information in? If any information is getting pumped into the black community, it's disinformation from you guys. Because it's one thing that I've been saying for a long time, that the Republicans do a poor job of getting their message out to the black communities. That's why the black community is confused, or was confused. But here comes Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a gangster, a soul brother. He been in the hood. He grew up in the hood. He dated the first black Miss New York. What's her name? Put her on the screen. He dated that woman for 3 years. He almost married her. She blacker than I am. Donald Trump is a gangster. He's black.
All right, let's go back.
Trump mugshot. We rolled up in the Trump Rolls Royce with rapper Forgiato Blow to hand out MAGA hats in the hood today in Fulton County. Let's see if the people of Fulton County want a president with a mugshot. What's up, guys? We're out here in Fulton.
So you heard that little dig right there, right? Let's see if the people in Fulton County want a president with a mugshot. So we know the inference there. This particular community is one where there are probably a lot of black men with mugshots. So let's see if they identify with Trump for that reason. So you heard the dig there. All right, let's go back.
With the Rolls Royce full of MAGA hats, Forgiato blow. We're going to be handing these hats out today and see the reaction of fine people in Atlanta.
And of course, when you go into a community like this that is low income, you certainly want to go in there driving a Rolls Royce, because that's what these guys want in the hood, right? That's why many of them think highly of Trump, because you know, Trump is this guy who has all this money, who's a smart businessman, and so...
Thank you. I'm glad you said it, dummy. You're an idiot.
Actually, you're going to take the Rolls Royce and go in there and basically say, hey, you guys support what we're doing. You can have this Rolls Royce as well.
What's wrong with that? Why y'all can't say that? Why y'all can't do that? What do y'all do when you go in the hood? Do you even go in there?
Or one like it, okay? So just watch the little subtle things that are going on here.
Country? Let's go find out, boys.
Trump country, baby. West side Atlanta, let's go.
Who wants MAGA hat? The setup for the free MAGA hat giveaway is pretty simple. We just parked the Rolls Royce on the curb and started handing out hats. Instantly, a crowd formed, and we asked a simple question. Why are you voting for Donald Trump? They are for you. Make America great again.
This man, Donald Trump.
And why is he asking, why are they supporting Donald Trump?
Because that's a very good question, dumbass. You don't want to hear the answer. You need to be. What's wrong with this guy? Would you hire this? Is this guy really an attorney? He about as dumb as Fonnie Willis. You know her? And Letitia James, all of them dumb as hell. This guy dumber than all of them.
Because he knows that any normal thinking, right thinking, African-American person would not be supporting a white supremacist movement like this.
Exactly. We don't support a white supremacist. And when you see one, let me know where they are. Where do they meet at? I haven't seen any. A white supremacist. I haven't seen, who the hell is that? The boogeyman? Y'all still talking that same old stupid shit. The white supremacists, where they meet at? And why come Benny, if Benny can go to the hood and put a microphone in front of black people, then why you can't go to the other side of town and interview the white supremacists? Why don't you and fat ass Roland go over there and interview the white supremacists? Let's see who they support.
So he's wanting to know, you know, and hopefully he get positive responses. And you can tell he know those people. So he's developed some relationship with some of these guys there. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, let's go back.
Best thing that ever happened to America, and I'm gonna tell you why. He don't hide his feelings. He don't hide his emotions. He don't hide who he is.
I told you, when you talk to MAGA people, they can explain to you why they're voting for Donald Trump, why they support him, and why that they roll the way that they do. But when you talk to Democrats, all you get is anger and hate and vitriol and bullshit and talking points. They all sound the same. But when you talk to MAGA people, everybody is different. And everybody can explain why they support the greatest president ever.
Do you want somebody to hide who they are? No, and Donald Trump doesn't do that. I love Trump, let's go.
So his sole reason for supporting Trump is that Trump insults people outrightly. Now,
me too, dumbass.
He didn't say insult, but that's what he's saying. Trump doesn't hold back. He says what he...
Now you putting words in people's mouth. You see what they do? See that? He's saying Donald Trump tells the truth. That's what he said. Why you can't interpret it that way? He said Donald Trump don't hold back. He just tell you what time it is. That's what men do. But you wicked, evil son of a guns over here on the other side, y'all act like women. And I think the women running the part. Why you want me to vote for Kamala? Because she got a dress and some drawers on? Oh, man, you tripping.
What he's thinking. And oftentimes what he's thinking, especially when it comes to African Americans, is very, very disrespectful. But to him, that makes Donald Trump.
You know what? My daddy almost wrecked a car trying to slap the hell out of me one time. My daddy told me, he said, man, you don't never, ever try to figure out what another man is thinking. If he's standing right there, why don't you ask him? You cannot tell what somebody is thinking. You can ask them and let them tell you. How dumb can you be to try to know what Donald Trump is thinking when he's in front of a microphone every single day? And he's been in office 30-some days. Remember, this is the same guy that said he's going to send black people back to Africa and all that kind of stuff. Have you seen Donald Trump say that? He's getting them migrants out of here, but I haven't seen him sending no planes to Africa. See, all y'all do is lie. But that's why y'all lost, man. That's why y'all getting y'all tail kicked. This guy here, I'm going to be on his ass.
Trump, the best president in the world, simply because Trump is bombastic and unfiltered, undisciplined, and just speaks his mind. Nothing about policies.
Everything that comes out of his mouth is about policy. What the hell are you talking about, man? Y'all the one that don't talk about policy. What about all this money that's coming up missing? Where's the video on that? Oh, man.
Nothing about policies, and one of the favorite words of these pro-black imposters, nothing about tangibles. No, Trump just speaks his mind. Even if he's cussing you and calling you all kinds of names as African-American people, this guy could care less. He says he thinks Trump is the best president ever because he says what he thinks.
I do too.
Let's go, Trump.
That's only one reason, man. So you trying to frame some shit. I bet you this guy can talk to you all day why he thinks that Donald Trump is the best president. And he'll be right. You just taking a segment out of what they're saying. And that's what Democrats do. You trying to frame this shit to make you seem right. But you know what, Defiant attorney? Your ass is dumb.
Let's go. More money with Trump. Let's go, man, too. Make sure you go vote with that hat, you feel me? You can get my hat off my head. Keep pushing the knowledge of the kids in the street. Vote Trump.
Pushing the knowledge of Trump to the kids in the streets. It's not knowledge what they're pushing. It's disinformation. And there were kids there at this. So, yeah, they are.
Where is the disinformation, mister?
Bringing up the children to believe that Donald Trump is a friend of the African American community. This is pure disinformation, and it is a huge reason why so many, or at least an increasing number of black men went for Trump this time and helped him win this election. We are, I tell you, are in a mess unless we get our hands around this spread of disinformation, because these are young men. These are the young men who will be here when I'm gone. And that's what really concerns me.
Well, get the hell on then, Paul.
Because they hold the future of the African American community in their hands. And here they are.
I talk to young men all the time, black and white. I don't see no color. But you are right. Young men they have their head on straight, because young men out here trying to start families and trying to do stuff, and they know damn well that it's hard. You can't tell them that it's white supremacy and all this kind of stuff when they go to the grocery store and try to buy cheese, get some cheese to put on and get some mayonnaise and make a sandwich. See, you can't tell them if they only got $20 and they got to try to put some gas in the car and try to take their little brother to school and do all this stuff, right? And you can't tell them that when they roll up to Popeyes, they only gonna get a 2-piece and a medium tea. See, you can't fool them. That's the problem. The Democratic Party has been operating in defiance. That's the name of this dude, Defiant. bullshit. And it's catching up because the bullshit has caught up with reality and people can see through it. And so you can't tell them that same old crap anymore. And therefore, you guys are obsolete.
Joining the white supremacist movement. It would be like a group of young Jewish men joining the Nazis under Hitler. Wow. Wow. That's why I'm looking at this video, because we got to understand what this is. And let me just say this before I go back to the video. The Democratic Party failed. You know, when I started doing these YouTube videos and the channel started blowing up, that's when I really learned about how serious disinformation, is in the African American community, because a lot of the trolls started coming to the channel and they were saying some ridiculous stuff.
What? Huh?
Being a civil rights attorney, when I heard this stuff, I was blown away that people are so low literate, so lack of understanding about so many things. Again, the civil rights laws, the history of the country, African American history, American history, just so lacking in knowledge of very important things. And so they showed up saying a whole lot of crazy stuff.
Man, please.
Trying to warn them. I am spending a lot of time trying to warn these people what was going on because of what I see from my perspective as a civil rights attorney. I fight this battle in court. So I have a backstage view of this. I see what you don't see on the other side of the curtain. I see what's happening in the courtrooms.
You can't explain it because I've listened, I watched a lot of your videos, and why you can't explain what you're talking about. What is it that we're supposed to see other than the price of eggs and gas? What are we supposed to see, old man?
Okay, how the law is affecting our community and what Trump and MAGA want to do once they get in office.
Make America great again. That's the agenda. What's wrong with that?
And now they're there with the help of some young black men. So it hit me like a ton of bricks when I started seeing and hearing all the disinformation. And it was right then that the BARS reading program was birthed. Remember, we developed the BARS summer reading program. It was a smashing success this past summer. And we focused on African-American boys especially.
Where they get this African-American bullshit from? I'm not African. I ain't never been there. I never heard, my grandmother never said nothing about no Africa. She talked about Indians all the time. My great-great-greats were Indian. They didn't come from Africa. So you missed me with that bullshit. That's number one. Y'all trying to trick people.
Only 8% of African-American boys read at grade level when they reach.
Didn't President Trump say he was going to fix that? School choice. He said he knows that's a problem. And when you look at those schools, Democrat run. Most of those schools are run by Democrats.
8th grade, many of them are still reading on the 2nd and 3rd and 4th grade levels when they get to 8th grade. And it doesn't get better by the time they graduate. Their reading level is still really low.
Can't get better, man. How the hell it's gonna get better? By the time you get to the 4th grade and you behind, and you get to junior high and you behind, you're in trouble. Because the school is cumulative. You have to know what you're supposed to learn last year to be able to handle next year. And so when you don't, then you're just sitting up in there, which leads to discipline problems and everything else. So a lot of kids, especially young men, start acting a fool because they don't know how to read, they don't know how to add, they don't know how to do that stuff. That's not President Trump's fault. He says he is going to fix it. And you got a problem with that?
So that carries right over into society. And so quite naturally, you go to certain neighborhoods where those schools have failed them, where some of their families have failed them, and you will find a lot of young men who don't have that reading curiosity, that thirst for knowledge, the discipline to sit down and read a book, or they're just frustrated trying to read some of these books because, again, they're still reading on 4th or 5th grade as adults, you see. So that makes them especially vulnerable to disinformation.
No, it doesn't. How does that make, what disinformation? I'm waiting on you to explain that. You're an attorney, you keep saying that. What disinformation? The lies are coming from you guys. President Trump, what lie has President Trump told? He said the schools are terrible. That's what the hell you just said. Y'all saying the same thing. You just try to frame it a different way. Just like President Trump don't know what he's doing. He says he's going to fix all this mess. I remember back in the day, people used to graduate from high school and give a damn who you were, black, white, or other. Graduate from high school and you had all the choices that you wanted. Some people went to trade school. Some people started a trade. Some people went to college. Some people went straight into the oil field. Some people went to the military. But everybody had something that they were doing. A lot of people started a family right away. The Democrat Party has destroyed all of that. President Trump didn't have anything to do with destroying America. Dummy, you did.
Also causes them to quite often to turn away from folks who could provide proper knowledge for them and turn to these other folks like Benny Johnson and others who exploit that lack of education and intellectual curiosity.
No, you didn't say intellectual. So you saying that our people are not smart? That's bullshit. You can take one of these same young men and put him in the middle of the ocean and give him a paper cup and a clothes hanger. And I bet you that's how we're going to beat you back to the house. He's going to figure out how to get it done. Black people are some of the smartest people on the planet. The problem with us, with black people, is leadership, because we listen to dumbasses like you.
All right. So it's a big deal, and I learned about it once I got on YouTube, and I am determined to fight it for the future of the African American community. And like I said in the beginning of this section here, the Democratic Party has failed to address this issue, because once I started seeing all this disinformation and the ignorance, I began to ask, where is the Democratic Party on social media addressing this? I mean, this was 8-9 months ago I started seeing this. And then as I dug and understood what was going on, I learned that these pro-black imposters had been putting this disinformation out for years, at least since 2016.
What disinformation, man? You know what? I'm sick of this bullshit right here, man. I got to get out of here, man. This dude here is hard to listen to. But anyway, this is a crazy, but I'm going to definitely be jumping over here with this guy. And matter of fact, I'm going to do a part 2 because I want to hear the rest of these people on here and what my young brothers and sisters are saying about the greatest president ever. But anyway, I'm your host, Big Al, UncleCoon, and I'm going to be on your ass, Defiant lawyer, because you, sir, are a piece of shit. Can't touch this.
UncleCoon in the house. drop the knowledge, stay true, no room for doubt. From debates to celebs, we cover it all. Tune in, hit subscribe, you don't wanna miss the call. Real, 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 real.